Today our lesson is on 2.3, dividing polynomials. We're going to learn two different methods. The first method you're learning is long division. So when we're using long division to divide polynomials, it's the same as when we're using long division to divide two different numbers. So reminder of how to divide two different numbers. Remember that this first part right here is called the dividend. The second part here is called the divisor. So when you're setting up the division problem, the divisor goes on the outside, the dividend goes on the inside. Once we divide, we'll put the answer or the quotient up here on top. So there's three simple steps. The first step is to divide. What do you divide? We divide a portion of the dividend with the divisor. So we take 53 and we divide that by 7. Now 53 divided by 7 is 7 with some left over. So I'm going to put the 7 on top here. And now I'm going to multiply. So I multiply the answer that I just got, which was the 7, to the divisor out here, which is also 7. And I get an answer of 49. Once I get that answer, I'm going to subtract. So I take my 53, I subtract the 49, I get an answer of 4. Now once I have this answer, I'm going to bring down the next term so that I get 44, and then I'm going to repeat this process again. So I'm going to go back up here, I'm going to divide. 44 divided by 7 is 6. 6 times 7 is 42, and then I subtract. 44 minus 42 is 2. Bring down the next term and do it again. 29 divided by 7 is 4. 4 times 7 is 28. Then I subtract and get an answer of 1. Now instead of going into the decimals, I'm going to leave this as a fraction, so I have a remainder of 1 being divided by 7. So my answer is 764 and a seventh. Now to do that over here with our polynomial, remember that this first part is the dividend. This second part is the divisor. So I take the divisor and put it on the outside, and I take the dividend and I put it on the inside. Now the first step that I do is divide. Well, what do I divide? I only divide a portion of the dividend, which is what I did over here. I only used 53. So I'm going to take the 2x squared and I'm going to divide it by the divisor, but I'm only going to use a portion of it also, just the first term. So 2x squared divided by 2x gives me an answer of x. Now I multiply this answer I just got into each one of the divisor. So that gives me a 2x squared plus x. Now just like over here with the numbers, I now have to subtract. So I take my 2x squared, subtract 2x, that gives 0. Negative 3x minus x, that gives me negative 4x. Then I bring down the next term. Now most students make their mistake right here with subtraction. So if you want to, you could distribute the negative in here and change all the signs, and then you'll have a better chance of getting the correct subtraction. Now I repeat the process. I take the first term on the inside, divided by the first term on the outside. So negative 4x divided by 2x, that gives me an answer of positive 2. So I take my positive 2 and I multiply it to the divisor. And that gives me, oh, it's not positive 2, it's negative 2. Glad some of you caught that. So I take my negative 2 and I multiply it through to the divisor up here in front. I get negative 4x minus 2. Now this is where I need to subtract. If you need to change signs, please do so. So negative 4x plus 4x, that's 0. And 4 plus 2, that is 6. Now this is my remainder. So I'm going to put plus, and then I have my fraction 6 over 2x plus 1. And that is my answer here. Now we're going to go through a couple more problems. So here's your next example. Remember that the first part here is the dividend, and the second part here is the divisor. So I'm going to take the divisor and put it on the outside, and the dividend goes on the inside. First step is to divide. I take my x to the fourth, I divide it by x squared. So I always take the first term on the inside divided by the first term on the outside. X to the fourth divided by x squared is x squared. Always line up your variables with the same numerator and the same exponent. Now multiply. X squared times x squared is the x to the fourth. And then we have a minus 2x squared. Again, make sure that you line them up. Now we're going to subtract. I'm going to change signs again. So x to the fourth minus x to the fourth, that goes away. I now have this 5x cubed. And then I have negative 7x squared plus the 2x squared makes it negative 5x squared. Bring down the next term. And then repeat the process. First term on the inside is 5x cubed. First term on the outside is x squared. So 5x cubed divided by x squared is a positive 5x. Now multiply. That gives me 5x cubed minus 10x squared. Except for that's minus 10x. So be careful again. Multiply, you get minus 5x. So put the minus 10x underneath the 4x. Match them up. Line them up in the correct spot. Now divide, or subtract, sorry. 5x cubed minus 5x cubed, that's 0. We have this negative 5x squared. Then we have 4x minus negative 10x. That gives me positive 14x. Again, if you need to change all of the signs, please do so. Bring down the next term. Repeat the process. Negative 5x squared, first term on the inside, divided by the first term on the outside, x squared. That gives you an answer of negative 5. Take negative 5 and multiply it to the divisor. You get negative 5x squared plus 10. Again, make sure you line it up. And subtract. If you need to change the signs, please do so. Negative 5x squared plus 5x squared, that goes away. We still have this 14x. We have 1 minus 10, which is negative 9. Now recognize that the power on the x for the dividend is smaller than the power for the divisor. This means that you have now a remainder. This part, 14x minus 9, is the remainder. So I'm going to put it up here, plus I have 14x minus 9 over x squared minus 2. This is my answer.